Hello, hello. Hey, everybody. It has been a day. How are you doing? Welcome to Mobile. We are in a very cool little spot. And I have ordered a rum maple pumpkin latte. I believe it will be iced. And I'm a couple of minutes late because some of the thank you. Some of the goodies from my food tour still inside my bag. So I have a lovely white barbecue sauce on the inside of my bag at the moment. All right, give me a little second here. I'm going to go grab my drink and you can take a look around. All right. Okay, it is a rum maple pumpkin cloud. Here we go, my friends. Cheers. And yeah, so here we are. We're in Mobile, and I've had a very busy day. I actually slept in this morning because I just had a bit of a rough day yesterday getting out of New Orleans, but that's another time and another topic. So happy to be here this morning. I decided to have a lazy morning. You love all my friendship bracelets. These ones mostly are all ones that were given to me by other people, by virtual strangers. I love it. That was not even at the concert necessarily. That was throughout New Orleans after day three, after concert three. So anyway, so today I got up and I was like, I can't do things. But I had already bought a ticket through Viator. Two things. I bought the Mobile Carnival Museum ticket and then a food tour. And so basically, I was like, well, I have things I need to do, but I just couldn't function. And then I just, ADHD kicked into overdrive. And I set out to go start my day. I'm like, I just need to go get a coffee. I've been reading about Mobile. Totally excited to check it out. And started walking, and they have no sidewalks. It's like a small town, like very small town. There are no sidewalks around. So I'm like in my platform Converse because I wanted to be comfy all day, like tromping through grass. Sorry, I meant to do this. And there we go. There's my little banner. And so it took me the bus only ran like once an hour from my Airbnb to come to where I was going to go for coffee. So I was going to start off with coffee at a place called Coffee Monster, which, of course, if you know me, you know I love coffee. The second thing you learn about me is I find the meme on Facebook, the one that says um, the one they do about Coffee Monster is like one of my favorites. So I actually painted a Cookie Monster character and made him Coffee Monster with a coffee in each hand. So I'm like, oh my gosh, they have a coffee shop called Coffee Monster. So I was so excited to go today. And yeah, I get there and I order a white pumpkin latte and their last pumpkin muffin. And what do you think happens? They drop the pumpkin muffin on the floor. It's a couple of young gals, they giggle about it. And then they're like, do you still want it? And I'm like, it's been on your floor, so that's kind of a no. And then I had a blueberry muffin, which wasn't what I wanted, but that's okay because then I went to this fabulous food tour that was totally amazing. And in a couple of minutes, we're going to get going. I'm just going to have a few more sips. I have literally been on the go since 10 o'clock this morning. And learning a lot about this fun, quirky little city. And you know what the best part is? You know how much I love New Orleans? Oh my gosh, Mobile reminds me so much of New Orleans. It's crazy. Like it's fun. Now a lot of downtown of the tourist historic district is still a little bit blighted from whatever was going on before. I haven't quite figured it all out yet. And but there's a lot of businesses coming in, so that's pretty good too. And there's a lot of fun stuff. And in fact, I'm sitting here in this. It's called Knucklebones Elixir Company, and it's got a cool little kind of dark vibe to it. I'll show you around in a second. And literally right next door, like there's a window wall in between. There's a men's barber shop. I was like, oh, all I need is like a washer and dryer and some red beans and rice, and we got the whole New Orleans thing going on. So there we are. There you go. We're going to get going in a minute. And as we head out, I'm just going to tell you like some of the things I've learned and observed and figured out, and like some of the stories I've heard today. I'm also going to grab myself a little lid and hopefully a straw. So give me a little moment here to go do that, and then we're going to head out. All right, here we go. I'll keep talking while I do this. I feel like I need another napkin because I'm a little bit messy today. We'll do a little bit of a walk about this place before I go. It's very minimalist. It's very basic. It's very cool. I love it. And then we're going to head out and explore Mobile. I have no idea what I'm doing tonight. Part of me just wants to sit in my fabulous room at my fabulous Airbnb and just watch episodes of the old Reba TV show. I was doing that last night and this morning. Cheers. I hope you have your own little fabulous beverage going on while we do this. So I'll do a quick flip around of the camera. I'm getting better at it now. I'll show you around this spot. And then we are going to head out and go see Mobile. And I'll see what I can remember from everything I've learned in the last 6 months of researching, as well as things I've learned today. Because as all my tours are, I have been researching Mobile for quite some time. So this isn't just like a showed up, thought I'd do it. This is a lot of intent into this. So here we go. I'm just going to do a quick little walk along the back here.
Is that hot Americano?
And of course, we're still in Halloween mode here. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see this back here, guys. This is insanely cool. Okay, everywhere I go, I'm seeing pink flamingos right now, including my fabulous little Airbnb. Oh my gosh. This place is even more amazing than I knew. Oh. Huh. Isn't this cool? This is so fun. Kind of very upscale, artsy, fabulous skeleton vibe. Here on the wall, try not to get the innocent eye sitter. Here we are. And I love, do they call those penny tiles? I just love this. This is so cool. What a great little spot. This is like so awesome. One last view. And then we're going to head out. Huh. I would hang out here if I lived here. Go. And of course, like everywhere nowadays, you can buy coffee here. You can get shirts. Let's see what their shirts look like. Good for what ails you. I'd rather die than settle. That's pretty awesome. It's getting a little wild over there in the barber shop. some Friday night fun. It is Friday night, right? Yeah, it's Friday. Whew. And gotta love it. Nice and muggy. They are expecting possibly some rain today. And so here is where I was. Knucklebones Elixir Company. Open every day of the week except for Sundays. So we're going to go do a little walk along here. And we'll do a little bit of maybe a rectangle, maybe not entirely. Let's see where we end up for time. So Mobile has been around since 1703. Oh, I can feel some rain. It's okay, we'll find some cover. 1703. And at first it was actually the capital city of Louisiana, French Louisiana. And you can kind of tell as you wander around. There's a lot of stuff here that makes you feel like you're in the quarter. Starting with this building right ahead of us here. The iron balconies, the architecture, and Mobile very much has a lot of different heritage in their history. They have some France. They got a little bit of Spain. I think there was 4 or 5 different countries. Oh yeah, because here's the, if I can get up a little closer, that kind of represents all the history of Mobile. A lot of their buildings were built in the 1850s or like 1905 and after. And it's very interesting. There's no trucks allowed. There's a little tunnel here. The tunnel, I believe, I don't know if it specifically only goes to, but it goes, I believe, over to where, is it the Navy ship? Sorry, I'm not as interested in that kind of stuff. And you can only get there one way, and like, it's a whole thing. Every YouTube video I watched about Mobile talked about how much of a pain it was. Now, I wish I could get this thing to go in and out, because I don't know if you can see it, but they're actually, if you get your screen a little bigger, mine won't do that, or at least I haven't figured out how. That is literally a Christmas tree ahead of us. They are setting up for Christmas. Like, is this my kind of town or what? Literally, there's Christmas decorations popping up everywhere in Mobile right now. And this gives you lots of spires here in this city. That building there, this one here. I got it at night. This area just looks amazing. Trying to figure out what I'm going to do tonight, because I think that my bus that goes to my Airbnb stops running at like 9 o'clock, if you can believe it. And trying to get here from my Airbnb, there was only one way to get here, but there seems to be 2 or 3 different buses that come into the downtown core. So I'm not really sure what that's all about. It's a small town, like I've said repeatedly, but like, it's very quirky. I don't know. It's going to be interesting going back. I've also done an entire food tour for 3 hours that was completely glorious. But my idea was that after the tour, I was going to come hang out downtown and like go for appies or something. And you know what? Like my tummy is full. We're going to come over here because I haven't seen this part yet. And we're going to do a little bit of exploring. When I first saw the Christmas stuff, I was like, are they filming a Hallmark movie here? Because you know that's where my brain goes right away. Everything, oh, Christmas decorations, Hallmark movie? Huh? Um, I don't know that they've done any Hallmark movies in Alabama, but they've done a Mississippi one. They've done a couple of New Orleans ones. I feel like they could do one in Mobile and that would be okay. This is a very long light. See, there's a bus. That's not my bus, though. My bus is number 9. I walked halfway. I walked to Coffee Monster this morning, and then from Coffee Monster, I just couldn't handle it. And I took an Uber because I was running behind. And I was like, I got to the museum, Carnival Museum, and I literally had 45 minutes to go through the whole place. And then I realized that was not enough time, my friends. Not enough time at all. But I did a quick look through and I learned enough because I'm on this hunt to understand the whole difference between Mardi Gras here, Mardi Gras New Orleans. Why does New Orleans say that they had the first Mardi Gras? Why does Mobile say that they have the first one? Here we go. Here's a really cool trumpeter dude. Musicians and bands create the sounds of Carnival in the birthplace of Mardi Gras Mobile. It's just me, or does he look like Louis Armstrong, kind of? Yeah, right? Here's a cool little walkway, kind of like our globe at home. Maybe we'll go this way, then that way. Now, their Mardi Gras is very different. They do like a court. It's all about kings and queens and very elaborate costumes. I will post some pictures from my visit today. This is King Alexis I, His Royal Highness, first crowned in 1940 by Mobile Area Mardi Gras Association. Here we are. We'll go see who this queen is. There was some lady who like became a sewer of all the capes and things. And she wanted to have fancy clothes when she was a 12-year-old girl. And her mother basically said, if you want to have nice clothes, you need to learn how to sew. And she did. And she went on to become a nurse. Her name was like Miss Pat, Patricia something or other. And she trained to be a nurse and then eventually started sewing and became very well known. This is Queen of Mamga, Her Gracious Majesty, first crowned in 1940 by Mobile Area Mardi Gras Association. And so this lady who did all the sewing became very popular and started sewing all these capes and things. And I guess this is kind of like our 80-foot tall Christmas tree that goes in front of the art gallery, where I will be starting some of my Taylor Swift and my Red Light and Cheer tours in Vancouver this December. So this lady was known for doing all the sewing and beadwork, and she would weave the stories of these queens as well as the story of the court into the capes that she made. And she was very much sought after, very popular, and for her beautiful artwork. So in New Orleans, the Mardi Gras is more about the cruise, spelled Krewe, whereas Mobile is all about royal courts. Now, in reading about Mobile, they say that it is basically a cultural center for Alabama. And so they have like symphony. They certainly have beautiful buildings. I love this one right here in front of us. And there's a lot of art and culture. And it's really just a fun little city to kind of explore. I feel like I was like, 2 days. I actually was planning to come here for 1 day. I was like, 1 day is enough for Mobile, like maybe 1.5. And then the more I read about it, and the more I realized it was a lot like New Orleans food and everything. It's all about the seafood down here. They do gumbos and beignets everywhere. The more I realized I might actually want to be here for longer than a day or a day and a half. And so I extended my trip to 2.5 days, which turned into 2 days because, as I said, my Greyhound left 4.5 hours late yesterday with no explanation. All they kept saying was, the Greyhound staff were like, it's not our problem. I'm like, well, you're in a Greyhound uniform. I feel like that is your problem. Like, you're in customer service. So this is King Felix III. His Imperial Majesty, first crowned in 1872 by the Mobile Carnival Association. 1872? That was a long time ago, my friends. We have the Lime scooters, like what were lying all around Dallas when I was there. Here we go. I think these golf carts here are like little tours. Oh, maybe not. They look like they're all wearing the same outfit. So, it says this ruin is a vestige of the second Fort Condé, Mobile, built by the French in 1723 and later occupied by the British, Spanish, and the Americans. These foundations are the only architectural remains of colonial Mobile. So Mobilian of Native American heritage. So that's where Mobile got its name from. Bienville went off to hang around with the Mobilians. And he was apparently, so Bienville was the explorer that founded here. And they referred to him as the guy who fought in his skin because he would just put on like a loincloth and go to battle right in there with the First Nations people. So here we are. This is pretty cool, actually. I'm glad I did. We're kind of like, I didn't come here on my tour, so this is all something very new that I'm kind of exploring with you guys for the first time. I love this building. I think this is their big museum. Like everything's kind of all in one area here. Ooh, look at this dress. I took some beautiful pictures of beautiful dresses today. Like, it was so amazing. So we have Queen of Carnival. And this one is Ruler of Our Hearts, first crowned in 1893 by the Mobile Carnival Association. Oh, I love her outfit. That dress is beautiful. Queen, Ruler of Our Hearts. That's cool. Oh, I hear cathedral bells. There is a lot of cathedrals here. I feel like that's coming from the building behind us. Got our Christmas glow going. This is like, usually things don't start down here for Christmas until like Black Friday. This is like early. All right, we have Chief Slakabamarinico, portrayed by Joe Kane, who revived Mobile's Mardi Gras in 1866 by parading through the streets on Fat Tuesday. Joe Kane is a major dude here. They talked about on my tour today. And I think it was something to do with like Mobile is very much Catholic, and they stopped doing Mardi Gras, and there was issues to do with prohibition and things. And in fact, Mobile was going to separate from the rest of Alabama over the whole prohibition because they didn't want any part of it. It is. It's a history museum of Mobile. What a beautiful building. I love the architecture here. I could come back again just to see it all. This is so pretty. And so they actually used to celebrate Mardi Gras here on New Year's Eve. And part of it started with some individuals who were a little bit very drunk. And they stumbled past here's a jester, creates merry misrule with mirth and magic during America's oldest Mardi Gras. There we go. So they stumbled past this hardware store, and I've now seen two versions of the story, one at the Mardi Gras Museum and one from my guide, who said that what happened was, this is Mardi Gras Park. They stumbled past this hardware store, and the guy was fairly intoxicated and stumbled into a whole bunch of rakes and, garden tools and things. He got tangled up in them, and then they were walking along and making all this noise. And one story says they were down by the steamboats and they were going on all the steamboats and getting food. And the other one said they just kind of went from house to house collecting things. Sorry for the cough. Oh my goodness. Struggling a little bit with a little bit of a cough at the moment. Pretty sure it's from sitting out till 6 o'clock in the morning at waiting to get into the Airbnb in Atlanta. But we're not going to focus on that because this is too fun. And I heard there's supposed to be, I'm going to look them up later. Oh, Mobile's first Mardi Gras parade was held right here. That's what the little plaque is up there. Oh, goodness me. I've done a lot of walking today. And a lot of eating. So what have I eaten? I had the whole tour started at Ruby Slipper, which is, of course, one of my favorite restaurants to go to in New Orleans. It's a brunch spot. They're only open till 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And our tour started at Ruby Slipper, and we got fried green tomatoes, a little bit, 2 tomatoes with all the fixings on it to try. And then one of their biscuits, they do their biscuits a little bit differently. They're actually quite crunchy on the outside, their biscuits, and we had a little bit of a butter thing, a honey butter to go over it. Okay, people are walking. Do they know something I don't? Here we go. And it was so delicious. And then we left Ruby Slipper, and she told us some stories, some history as we walked along. And then we went to, I want to say Winsel's next, which is a very well-known seafood house, known for their oysters, amongst other things. So they brought it, and there was only me and 2 other ladies, and then our guide named Bella, who was phenomenal. And We got to try 4 different kinds of oysters. One was Rockefeller. This is, a place called the Royal Scam. All right, looks kind of fun. Doesn't look so scammy to me. See what I mean? Wrought iron balconies coming up here. Very cool. So we had oysters and then we had fried pickles. And I believe my friend Jen would have loved that. She really likes fried pickles. They brought out a huge basket of them. And I think the other ladies actually just took them home. They were collecting food from all the stops. It's kind of bizarre. I didn't want to take it because I'm like, I don't know when I'm going home and I don't know if I can use the fridge and I don't know if I want to eat this later or I might not even be hungry later. And I did find out there's a restaurant though called Debris and it has apparently the best gumbo in Mobile. So I'm like, I might want to go back there at some point. And we went into a big fancy cathedral. Oh my gosh. That made St. Louis Cathedral in New Orleans look like nothing. Like nothing. And then there's all these tunnels underneath because the park across from it used to be a burial ground. And they moved all the bodies with proper grave markers. And all the rest just got left there. And then there's all these underground tunnels. It's kind of a little bit spooky, not going to lie. And then one of the things you have to have when you come to Mobile is a moon pie. And at New Year's, so they no longer celebrate Mardi Gras at New Year's. They celebrate Mardi Gras during the same time as New Orleans, which is like the whole Fat Tuesday thing. And they drop a giant moon pie on New Year's Eve to signify midnight. Our tour guide gave us some mini moon pies. I'm like, ooh, perfect, snacks for the bus. And we got pralines. Now, we were supposed to learn how to make a praline today on the tour, but that never happened. So, I'm not going to lie, I was a little disappointed because we all know I wanted to do the biscuits, learn how to make biscuits in Atlanta, and I couldn't do it because there wasn't 2 of me. So here we go. Walking along through what is the historic area, a lot of older buildings, but also a lot of newer ones. The Ruby Slipper here, they're all in like, a lot of the Ruby Slippers are in historical buildings. And the one here is no exception. It used to be a bank, one of the first major banks in Mobile. And it's like a really cool building. All the buildings here have those penny tiles. And so the story behind Ruby Slipper is actually started in New Orleans. So I knew they had one here in Mobile, and I was so excited when I found out that was our meeting point. And so it started in New Orleans. It was after Katrina. Oh my gosh, look at this. What movie is this from? The Christmas Story, the leg lamp. That's hilarious. You don't see those very often. And when a lot of the restaurants were leaving New Orleans because of Katrina and everything was done, gone, and wrapped, and they were heading out of town to save their lives, etc. These people who started Ruby Slipper, wanted to start something that the community would be involved in the community, etc. A Starbucks that doesn't like tie up their chairs. And so, oh, this is a big historical hotel here, right across the street. I'll post some pictures from inside the lobby. It's like really cool. They have tribute to the 4 countries that basically brought about Mobile. So here we are. Anyways, about Ruby Slipper. So they started Ruby Slipper to be a community little spot. And of course, it's called Ruby Slipper after the Ruby Slippers and Wizard of Oz. Because of course, what do? You click your heels 3 times in ruby shoes to come home. And they wanted to create a place that felt like home. They do the most amazing brunches and food. It was actually the last meal I had in New Orleans yesterday. Oh, they're little rides. That's so cool. And so I had it was a pumpkin praline French toast yesterday at Ruby Slipper and coffee. And I was so excited because when I got to the hostel in New Orleans, there's been a Ruby Slipper there for ages, but it's been closed. And I couldn't figure out why it was closed. And I realized it was to do with when the Hard Rock Cafe, what street are we on? We're on Royal. Maybe we'll go one street over in a couple of blocks and come back the other way. So anyways, when the Hard Rock Cafe collapsed in New Orleans, I guess the Ruby Slipper was right near it in a building. And I don't know if it's part of the investigation or what, but they had to basically not be open. And then they just, when did I find out? I guess when I got back to town, I found out they had reopened. Where's my brain? Sorry. They had reopened Ruby Slipper finally. And of course, it's one of the places where you can make a reservation to go in. So that's pretty cool. And then now they brought it around. I think they opened the first one in Mobile like a few years ago. Maybe we'll just cross over. Sure, as soon as I start to walk, the light changes. We're going to go 1 block over. Aha. Here we are. Here is the Ruby Slipper. So it is, of course, closed now at the moment because it is a breakfast and brunch spot. But you can kind of see in. It's just a pretty basic little spot with really good food. I'm just going to let her get ahead of me here a little bit. I don't want her to think I'm like following her or anything. And I'm keeping an eye out for a garbage can because I now finished my coffee. And also much like Ruby Slipper Crew only, Krewe. Oh my gosh. Here we go. I'm gonna show you this floor here. I feel like I might be going the wrong way. Let's see if she's gone upstairs yet. Yes. There we go. It says right there, the Bank of Mobile. What a cool building. Here we are. So as we do this, I'm going to go back this way. Still looking for a garbage. And yeah, I feel like that is not the right way to go. Like I said, I'm new here. I'm kind of exploring with you guys with me. So bear with me while I tell you some of the things I've learned today. We'll stop and look at a few more of the heritage plaques. So we are at the Mobile city limits, 1711. When Mobile was laid out, this was the city's northeast boundary point. Royal Street ran along a bluff overlooking the Mobile River. There were no streets between Royal and the river, only marshland. So my goodness, it's all changed now, hey? We've got same kind of feel like Canal Street. With these trees. It's starting to get a bit dark. All right. So then the other thing I learned today also ties into New Orleans, and it's kind of cool. There's a thing in New Orleans called the Casket Girls or the Cassette Girls. And part of the reason they call them that is because they looked like they had their belongings were carried in little caskets. And they apparently came over on this ship called the Pelican. And okay, let me figure out where I'm going here. Because I didn't bring my tablet today. We're going to go along here a little bit. So anyways, they had their belongings in what looked like caskets. And they were brought over from France. They were all about 14 to 18-ish years old. And they basically needed wives for all the fur traders in Mobile and New Orleans. And so they basically promised all these girls, like, oh my gosh, you're going to have a lovely home. You're going to have like everything you could ever need. Like life is going to be fabulous. They go on this transatlantic journey all the way here to Mobile and New Orleans. And they get here and they're like, these are fur traders. They're like kind of odd, smelly men. And like they don't even have homes. In fact, their houses don't even have doors on them. Like, this is weird. Okay, I feel like I might actually be lost. But that's okay. We're just going to keep wandering until something looks familiar and hopefully not get run over. Look at how pretty that looks. Well, we're just going to keep walking for a little bit longer so I can show you all these beautiful buildings. And I feel like we're just closer to the river, that's all. So anyways, they get there and they're like, you promised us all this stuff. They went out, they sought out all these girls with virtue, because that's what you want to drag over to a new world and have them have to build everything from scratch. So they were not happy. And here in Mobile, they started what they believe is like the first women's rights organization. And look at those wrought iron balconies. They said that these men cannot come home to the petticoats until they have supplies for gardens and I think better housing as well. And so they had to make a better life for these girls. And I think there was only something like, when they left France, there was 24 coming to Mobile, and they weren't allowed off the ship in most places. And then in some places, they were allowed off and they ended up getting yellow fever. Here we are. I love these buildings. So one of them never made it to Mobile, unfortunately. Okay, this is back on Anthony. I'm going to see. Sorry, give me a moment here. Oh, no, I can't because I'm on my Google. I don't panic. No reason to panic, but I am like, trying to find something. Here, we'll go this way. Sorry, but either way, you're getting a tour of Mobile and a little bit of the history that I was fortunate enough to research and hear about today that put it all into perspective for me. So that was pretty cool. I feel like we're getting back to tourist lights up here. So yeah, that was the story of the Pelican Girls. Now, the Casket Girls in New Orleans is a whole other thing. And they talk about how, like, with the Casket Girls, they stayed at the original, I can't remember the name of it. I want to call it a nunnery because I can't remember. It's in the French Quarter. And anyways, they had all these bags that looked like caskets and stuff. And their stuff was like going missing or something weird. And they thought the girls were like, I think they were vampires, but I also think that at some point, people stopped coming over. And so then I think the story for the Casket Girls goes into like they were recruiting like women from jails and letting them, I think, get out of jail early to go over to New Orleans. Now the Pelican Girls, they were called that because they came over on a ship called the Pelican, which is apparently the same ship that the Casket Girls came over on. And there wasn't any weird stuff going on with them. They were just simply called the Pelican Girls. But it's interesting that the Casket Girls got called that in New Orleans. And they ended up bringing in some slightly rougher souls. Here we go. We're getting back to it, I believe, is the tourist district. After this, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do. Tomorrow, I'm hopefully going over to Africa Town. Africa Town. All the people that came over as slaves, they were freed, and they were like, well, we don't really understand what that means. Like, we don't have family, we don't have property, we don't have money, we don't have a lot of anything. So they made a little community in Africa Town and just kind of stayed together. Now, here's what's really cool. The guide I was talking to today is working on a project to do with getting a marker for the Pelican Girls that is closer to town, because they want to do one out where the Clotilda came in for the last time. But it's kind of like middle of nowhere. Nobody's ever going to go there just to see like a marker. So they're trying to get a spot established here. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Here in town. And my tour guide is part of that. But what is even more amazing is that they've actually found a girl who is a descendant of the Pelican Girls. And they have started the application for everything already. But now they are actually putting her name on the rest of the paperwork and doing it all under her. And then in hopes of getting, because she'll bring a little more clout to the whole project. And then they'll have her name on it. And they'll hopefully be able to get everything done that they want to with a marker and everything. This is a big spot for Mardi Gras celebrations. Now we're back in the right area. Here we go. I knew I would find it eventually. My sense of direction is getting much better in my 54 years. Or should I say my 54th year, or 55th, or whatever that makes it. There is a shop I noticed earlier. They're really trying to build this up. A lot of it is blighted. There's a shop here somewhere on the square called Bella Bridesmaids. And it was all just for bridesmaids' dresses. Which again, I think was super cool. We're going to sit here for a little minute and look at this fountain. How beautiful is that? Now, it got damaged during a hurricane a while ago. And it is taken up until they apparently just recently rebuilt this. And the tour guide was very excited to see that the fountain was running earlier. And now it is just so pretty. I'm going to put this down for a sec because it is quite humid. And my hair is not loving me. My body is feeling very hot. So I'm going to rest this here for a sec while I put my hair up. Very beautiful little fountain. I hope wherever you are watching this, um, now that I'm back on the with my a bunch of my ex-Hago guides on a group called Going Places Virtually. I love that I'm seeing a few more people watching. Maybe it's just because it's Friday night and maybe you're having just a nice little calm, peaceful Friday night. Hope this little fountain kind of helps you out a bit too. Such a beautiful park. And some people over here playing some music. Saw a couple of different parks today. It's really weird. I don't know what to do tonight because I am still full from this food tour. Yeah, we also got pralines. We got a cup of mixed nuts from the peanut company. The peanut company has been around for forever, like literally since like I don't know 1937 or 47 or something, and it was originally the A&M Peanut Company. And they used to have a guy dressed up in a peanut suit that hung out outside. They have a machine that is over 100 years old that roasts all the peanuts. And then they had these things that look like a grinder. And our guide was like, do you know what that is? And you're like, I don't know, like a nut grinder or something. And apparently it's an old machine that kids used to use to make peanut butter, to make their own peanut butter. And somebody in the group was like, oh, that's like a 70s thing of like having your kid make their own peanut butter. I'm like, I don't know what kind of 70s you grew up in. That was not what I was doing in the 70s. But then I didn't live in the South and they did. So, anyways, here we are. I hope you're enjoying this. I really do. Um, I worked hard to kind of learn as much as I could. Of course, there's like stacks of notes, and you guys know that I do a whole bunch of notes. And then I kind of wait to see what my brain retains. And then that's what I talk about on the tours. So again, this is where Mardi Gras started in the States. It's brought over by Bienville. And eventually he brought it up to New Orleans as well. Oh yeah, there's some cool buildings over here. I think they're still blighted, but they just look cool. Mobile is a very pretty city at night. Very hallmarky. Even with the tall, newer buildings, like it just looks beautiful. Oh, I definitely can't drink any more coffee today, I can tell you that much. Maybe I should have a little drink. There were some cool murals I saw. I don't know. Oh, yeah, so I was talking about Africa Town. Whew, that was a good little neurodiverse ta-da moment. And I think I'm going to head up there tomorrow. So I'll make sure I take lots of pictures and do some reels and whatnot. Because I think it's going to be really cool. I am looking forward to going to Africa Town, learning all about it. So the Clotilda was the last ship of slaves to come over from Africa. In fact, as I learned today, it was a long time after it was illegal to bring slaves over, and some mayor of Mobile was like, oh, watch me, watch what I can do. And he brought them over in a schooner. So the Clotilda is a schooner, not a regular boat. And they got them through, and because it could also go faster, so it brought them all the way through to here. They smuggled into Mobile after dark, and then they took the ship back out and they sunk it think they set it on fire and sunk it, is how the story goes. And oh, I went here, Squid Ink. And this is kind of cool because their booths have swing seats. She really liked this spot. Squid Ink. And somehow I magically found myself right back where I wanted to be. So, anyways, they sunk this ship, and it's been missing for years. Blah blah blah. And then somehow they found it. I don't know who found it or when. Hopefully, I'll find that out tomorrow. And so I don't know if they brought part of it out or there's something to do with Chick-fil-A. Okay, whatever. Something to do with, they found some of it and they've now created a whole, words escaped me, whole thing in the Africatown Museum where all these people lived when they were freed from being slaves. And basically just, sorry, I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to go next. Because I wanted to kind of show you a view of something. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. And then the way I found out about it is I was on the hop on, hop off bus doing my gig and was, hey, where y'all from? And this lady was like, oh, I'm from Mobile. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like, I'm actually going to Mobile in a couple of weeks. She's like, oh, if you're into history, they just put in this, and the names escape me again. Having way too many ADHD moments today. Anyway, she's like, they've got all this stuff on display to do with the flotilla, which is the last ship that brought slaves over, blah, blah, blah. So then I was like, oh, I'm all over that. Let's do it. So this is Royal Street. Look at those iron balconies. This is literally just like Royal Street in New Orleans. So cool. It just kills me that it's like November 1st and they literally have their Christmas decorations up. And I feel like this is not even close to all of them. Like, I think we're just getting started. The Mardi Gras Museum was pretty cool, but like a lot of these museums and nonprofits do weird things about letting people know, like, this is a Van Antwerp building, very old building. She told us stuff about it, but you know what? I don't remember. And this is across the street from Squid Ink. And diverting, I told you, I'm like, this is like the worst ADHD I've had in a long time. I think I've just had so much going on in the last little while that my brain is just like, what are you doing to me now? Isn't that just pretty? Here we go. Here's these buildings coming up that I wanted to show you. It's like all these places sound so good, but I'm literally so not hungry because I've had so much good food today that it's ridiculous. And there's all these signs up around the city as well about like Christmas stuff starting like already. I'm like, what? This is crazy. These are the buildings. So this is a little spot called Breakfast. spot, literally. Now, if I can get myself together and out of bed, I would like to come down here and try like one of these little breakfast spot places before I head out to Africa Town. Like, this place looks so cute. I think I just felt, and as usual, I'm going over my time slot, but I don't care other than the fact that it's literally starting to rain right now. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. There's a street performer and there's a little couple. There's a couple dancing. Just doesn't give me New Orleans in that. Oh wait, no, in New Orleans we dance without music. Are you gonna run me over, sir? I might have to call this tour an account of the rain. And I might have to go in somewhere and have a drink or something. Oh, it is. They are not playing this rain. Whew. I love all the different. It's harder to see because it's also getting darker right now. And I love all the different colors. I'm going to do a little run for cover here. See how long I can hold out for. You guys want to hang around? I will keep walking around as long as I can keep under covers. Oh, this is so much better than Atlanta. Oh, whoops. Or as I call it, Atlanta.
Yeah, we tried.
There we go. Here's a cool little mural. I'm going to try and keep to the side of the building. I want to just walk down this next street with all the cool lights. And then I think we might just call it a day. Oh, shoot. Where'd you go? There we go. Oh, my goodness. Sorry if I just about lost you there. Gotta go contemplate life, my evening, the rest of my day, what I'm doing tomorrow. I can only imagine. What is this Wet Willie's place across the street? This looks interesting.
We won't be hot in the no.
Cool part, I almost got tickets to a show tonight, but not quite. Through some friends that happened to be in New Orleans, blah, blah, blah. The Noble South Sidecar Lounge. This sounds like a cool little spot as well. And we're back to undercover just about. Here we go. Roosters, lots of cool little spots. So I think my friends, here, let me just turn this around here. There we are. Oh my goodness. It is raining. So I'm going to have to cut this. Not even short. We went an hour and 15 minutes. Isn't that kind of like my usual time? I'm going to have to say goodnight and figure out the rest of my night. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining me here in Mobile. It's been super fun to show you around. And I don't have any tours planned yet for when I get back to Vancouver. I'm going to take a few days off and rest. And then we'll do some, maybe some Granville Island tours and a few other places. This is actually perfectly timed because my battery is getting very, very low. So everybody, as usual.
Oh, hey!
Wasn't pointing that way, sir. Some guy just tried to get on camera. That was hilarious. I love that people just assume the camera is pointing out at them. Anyways, there's a place across the street that I'm going to go check out and see what it's like. So I'm going to say, have a magical rest of your day. Go be fabulous. Thanks for joining me here in Mobile, and I will see you all later. Thank you very much. Good night.